that money like 1-0-0-0-0-0-0-0-0. I'm here with Gino.
Hey, danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, tryna live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player. Feeling like Pac. Represent. On my block. Try to knock me down, but I come up on top. Yeah, they wanna see me flop. Got a plot, want a lot. I won't stop on my pops. Got so many flows, it's insane. They don't really understand the game. Got a plan and it's plain, I ain't playing. I'm just trying to gain. I wanna get that big bag, need that D-Rex. Blow up Tic Tac, where the blue cheese at. I don't give a fuck about your feedback. Eat that, get back, sit back, watch me spit that kickback. Got so many flows, yeah, they think that I'm insane. Ghetto kids in a lot of pain, all about the bills, ain't shit changed. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game, I'm a player. If you a hater, I don't hate you. I'm just really happy that I ain't you. I just wanna thank you. You kept me motivated, so now I motivate you. There's a lot of cake, money on my mind like a banker. Coming through with them bangers, ain't no room for mistakes. Lot of stake, hustle till we get a lot of rooms, lot of stakes. Good kid, but I keep it gangsta. All gas, no brakes. Got cash for the case. More cash in the case. More cash in the safe. More cash on the way. Hustling all day. Ay. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player.
Danger, coming with them bangers. Where my fucking paper.
Said I'm taking big shots, just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. They been trying to get me cheap like a thrift shop, but I told them it's my time, check the wristwatch. They been talking way before they even doing something. Whoa. If they wanna play, let's get a tip off. Ain't no silver lining, dawg, this some rose gold. Getting new money, I'm a old soul. Yeah, I get it bouncing like a pogo. Whoa. And I'm too cold like Frozone. And my chick elastic, girl. Told them we ain't in the faking, this ain't plastic, girl. Bought a new whip and cash, now my taxi thorough. Way I'm shooting like step with my passes, bro. The way I'm playing the field, I'm in a league of my own. And now they all in their fields, I got them all on my phone. But dog, I'm hitting the climb, I got no time on the low. Way I'm shooting is messy, the way I'm hitting the goals. I'm taking big shots, just stop. Way I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. I just left, but you know I'm coming back though. Whoa. And you know I don't play by my rags though. Now go and turn it up to the max, whoa. Send a paper to me now like a fax, whoa. Yeah. Got 2 phones ringing off the hook now. When I'm in the city, I get looks now. I was going bad, but I'm good now. Said I had to go and put my foot down. Told them I'ma get it and go. Even in the summer, man, they knowing I'm cold. I got a couple checks coming that I made out the flows. Might get a couple more popping if I do it some more. I gotta do it for real. Said I'm back in my bag. All my digits are climbing just like they all on a dash. And they tell me slow down, cause dog, I'm moving too fast. Might go and cop me a Tesla, cause dog, I still got a gas. Said I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop where I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6 spot. Pissed off, thought I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream, and Bitcoin getting the pullback here from $82,000. If you guys tuned into yesterday's live stream, you will know we were looking at Market Cipher B after hitting that major target and looking for a potential pullback, guys. The real question here is this going to be a significant pullback, or is it going to be another one of these kind of like super short, lackluster pullbacks for an absolute another leg to the upside? We're going to cover that in today's live stream, guys, as we have hit this major target. I do think there's a higher probability, as you guys know, we had hit some targets, but there's always that next magnetic level above us. So I kind of sat out of a lot of shorts recently, and after finally hitting the $82,000 anchored VWAP, top of the golden pocket zone that we've been looking at, we are starting to see some bearish signs on Market Cipher B, and after hitting that major target, as we talked about last night, I do think there's a little bit of a higher. I saw chat going crazy. I thought I might have been muted. After we hit that key level, right, the $82,000 level, these Market Cipher B signals, although have been getting faked out a lot after hitting that major target, I do think there is going to be a higher probability of some kind of a bigger significant pullback. I'll show you guys what we're looking at on Market Cipher B, what we were looking at yesterday, how we thought we would be here today, and I'll talk to you guys about where I think we're going in the near future. So overall, I will just say this, guys, still longer term, right? This rejection from 82K, there's nothing about this rejection just yet that makes me think that we're going down below 60K, right? So my overall anticipation, we have some high time frame money flow we're going to take a look at, still open for higher lows and higher highs, but with almost no real significant pullback on this entire push to the upside, I do think we may want to go and push down a little bit, maybe sweep some liquidity before continuing the larger move up. But let's jump into the chat here real quick. Shout out to Erica. Erica says, "Nah, we're just excited, Frankie." Shout out to Erica. Hopefully these bear signals don't step on the excitement. They shouldn't, right? Because long term, I am still looking for higher prices. But shout out to Erica. Welcome in. We got Diaz in the chat. We got Lindo in the chat, said Market Cipher 1/16 played out. Yes. I'll kind of talk about that because yesterday we covered some of the lower time frame setups not playing out, but it was for a very specific reason. And now, again, after hitting this $82,000 target, things have changed very, very slightly, where I do think there is a higher probability at this point for this to be a little bit more of a continuation to the downside. But shout out to you. We got Darren does things in the chat. Welcome in. We got Arcane Wick said, hey, everyone. Welcome in, brother. Thank you for being here. Let's see who else we got. We got John Newton in the chat. Said, like number 29 is mine, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoy the free content, free trading education, free key levels, and free daily analysis here on this channel. I'm not going to, I'm not bragging, but we do get it close, right? It's not just me. It's the whole mafia. But shout out to you guys. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead. Jesse in the chat, welcome in. I think Tony D is here as well. I think he's going to get a fresh cut, so I think he's going to hop out a little early. Nick Dunn in the chat. Was it Nick that said Richardson 112 gang? Shout out to the Richardson 112s, Frankie Candles trading hats. Proven 100% to improve your profitability. Shout out to Servando said, dump it, Frankie. All right, let's jump in here, guys. We'll take a look at those bearish signals, and if we do get the dump, I'm going to talk about where we're looking for the bounces. Let's jump into the charts. Let's get into it. Stream Deck disconnected. All right. Here we go. I had some dropped a video in the Discord, video update in the Discord earlier today, and I had to film it twice. My computer just turned off. So, guys, if I go black, yeah, just know I am flipping the desk. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump on in. Gang, Richardson, Gang 112. Shout out to Erica. Let's go. Richardson 112s are goated. If you know, you know. But anyway, guys, jumping in here. So obviously, for quite some time, right? I don't want to go like too far in the past here, but I think it's important to understand how we got to where we are before we look at where we could potentially go next. So obviously, guys, ever since $66,000, we took the long positions, right? We understood daily money flow was coming up, anticipating this overall trend to continue. Money flow indicates the overall trend. I'm going to try to say that at maximum 3 times in this live stream, but it is very important. I mean, heck, it's part of the reason why we were able to anticipate that move, right? We came down to the value area low, very, very simple setup. Right, we came down to our key levels of support. We had some confluence down there, took the long position, looking for the value area to fill in full, which is very high probability. And then in order to look for that bigger push to the upside, we saw that money flow cracking into the green. Very easy to be able to have confidence in holding that trade for the bigger move up, where we knew we not only had our major target sitting at the golden pocket with our daily MPOC sitting between about $81,000 and $82,000. But we also have this massive low volume gap, right? Meaning there's not really a ton of resistance ahead, right? Come on, volume. There we go, right? Like really no real significant volume until, or no significant technical levels until we got up to that golden pocket, right? So the major target was $82,000. We had put it on the, $80,000 to $82,000. We've had that target on the thumbnails ever since back here. And finally, we've tapped it, right? And I was able, right, as we were pushing up here, other than like scalps, no real major, at least short positions here, right? I actually wasn't trading here. We were at the Bitcoin conference. But at the end of the day, right, like really the only thing we have been looking for were scalp shorts. And why is that, right? Well, it's because we have this golden pocket anchored VWAP above us, these levels on top of the daily MPOCs we had up there, which I still have one of them here. There was another one right up here. There was one lower and one right here. But these levels are magnetic, right? So at that point, right, with money flow coming up, the idea is lackluster pullbacks, higher lows and higher highs until we get to our first major target. Now, obviously, guys, like I said, long term, I am remaining more bullish over the medium to longer term until, right? That's, of course, until we get the information on the charts that things are looking a lot worse, right? Maybe money flow starts coming out. We don't have any of the bullish signs. Then we can start looking for the bigger drop down. But until we see that, right? And I'll talk about like the lines in the sand. I've covered them in the past. I won't spend too much time on it. But we have plenty of room, right, to come down from I was going to say a majestic pullback. I don't know why. But we do have room to get, a bit of a significant pullback before it really invalidates the higher time frame trend. And when we come up to the 3-day time frame here, you can see our 3-day money flow finally crossing into the green, right? So on top of that, VWAP is rolling over looking for a red dot. But as I always say, this is the second time I'll say this. I'm only going for 3 this live stream. Green and red dots indicate the ebbs and flows. Ebbs, flows, money flow indicates the overall direction, right? So when we're looking at this red dot could come in, right, after we've hit that major target, And if we do get that pullback, we can still look for this on the 3-day to be some kind of a significant pullback for an overall higher low and higher high. Now, does this guaranteed have to play out? Not necessarily, but once we get down here, we'll look at the charts, we'll identify money flow, we'll look at the price action, and we'll try to understand if there's a higher chance for us to get a bigger continuation down, or are we still going to be looking for that higher low and higher high? But until proven otherwise, guys, my thought process here is money flow is coming up, lackluster retracements, again, in the context of a higher time frames, could be a dramatic pullback, right? Could be very scary, but still have plenty of room here to continue putting in higher lows. So that's just kind of my overall sentiment. We've been bullish from down here. We've now finally hit that major target. Yesterday, we talked about the 4-hour bearish divergence that printed up here. There it is, higher highs, lower highs on our momentum waves. And because, right, why did I not have this sentiment before we got to this zone? Well, it was just simply because when we came here, we had the daily MPOC in the top of the golden pocket. Once we got above the daily MPOC with no reaction, right, unless we ended up losing this level, right, that would have been a sign of weakness for a drop to the downside, but we did not. And at that point, right, as long as we remained above that daily MPOC, the next magnetic target remains the golden pocket anchored VWAP. And look at that. The next day, after that market update, the next day, we come up and tap those levels. So now that we have finally come and tapped this, and we are starting to see a little bit of a rejection, we do have some bearish signs on market cipher B, right? We looked at it yesterday, main signals we were looking at, which shout out to anybody who tuned into last night's live stream. 12-hour red dot was printing with our 45-minute money flow crossing into the red. What does this make us anticipate? It makes us anticipate lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Why is that? Because money flow indicates the overall trend, not the ebbs and flows, right? Just the overall trend. And when you see that 12-hour red dot printing with the 45-minute money flow crossover, we call that a market cipher B 1/16th bearish setup, or at least that's what I call it. And then you are likely to see that continuation to the downside. We have now lost $80,000. And, obviously, as we showed yesterday, when you look at some of these lower time frames, like the money flow has really faked out into the red, only to come deeper into the green time and time again. We came out, back up, out, back up, out, and now we're finally getting that bleed out. And why was that higher probability to see that? Why were we not necessarily, why were we not shocked at these faking out? And why are we not shocked that this one isn't faking out? It has everything to do with that we have finally hit the major target, right? It doesn't mean you can't catch scalps, right? I know some people in the Discord caught a scalp up here, right? Money flow was starting to come out on the 30-minute, but of course, it just ended up being a higher low and higher high. So of course, you could take those scalp positions, but the reason I'm saying there is a higher probability of a pullback from here is because we have now tapped into that major target of the anchored VWAP and the top of the golden pocket. Now we see those market cipher B 1/16th, the 1 hour, the 45-minute, and the 12-hour wound up giving us the lower highs and lower lows. Above that, we had the 16-hour red dot also printing yesterday with the 1-hour money flow. This is what I was mentioning to the Discord. 45-minute, 1-hour money flow is what I'll be looking at for the continuation down. We get it. And now, right, again, because we've hit this target, I do think there is a higher chance that this market cipher B 1/16th will play out rather than the ones in the past that have just been completely choppy money flow. Hopefully that's clear, right? Because it's, I mentioned yesterday there's a lot of discretion, right, that went into me deciding what trades to take here. I kind of have been, other than holding my long position, just kind of simply being patient and waiting for those higher targets to get hit. I did take more profit on my long position here. I am still holding the long position. Still got about $8,700 unrealized, but I did lock in some more profits on that last push up. Got to pay yourself along the way. But at the end of the day here, based off of everything I just explained, I do think, could it still fake out? Sure, right? But after hitting that target, I think if we're going to get some kind of a major pullback, there really hasn't been a significant pullback here. It's just been aggressive higher low after higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now we've hit the major target. Now we see that 1 hour, 45-minute. And on top of that, guys, moving up the time frames, once you see that 16-hour red dot with the 1-hour money flow start to give you the breakdown, not only are we losing the $80,000 level, but we also have our daily red dot following the 12 and the 16 hour, right? So once the 12-hour prints, usually the 16 follows. Once the 16-hour prints and confirms, usually the daily follows. These time frames kind of work on like a wave, right? It's like this is the 0 line, 12-hour crosses shortly after. The 16-hour will cross. Shortly after that, the daily will cross, right? And then shortly after that, the 2-day. And then, it just goes over like a wave, right? First wave crashing first, right? So this one crosses, then that one crosses, then that one crosses, right? So we had the 16-hour yesterday. Now we have the the daily red dot looking to print here, right? You got that VWAP pretty dang close to the 0 line. If we get that red dot, why is this important? Well, the exact same things that we looked at yesterday to anticipate some kind of a pullback from here, we can now look at the daily red dot. Yesterday it was the 16-hour and the 1 hour, or the 12-hour and 45-minute, very close time frames. But today, we can start to keep an eye on this daily red dot. And somebody in the chat, let me know if you know what time frame I'm about to go to. I think somebody knows. But let's go ahead and I'll just jump to it. Somebody's going to say it. But yeah, on the daily, once we get that red dot, that same strategy would make us look towards the 80 and 90-minute money flow. And look at this, guys. 80-minute money flow coming out. Right now, there is a little voice in the back of my head that says, hey, these have faked out. These have faked out, right? But my logical trader brain is saying, well, this time, not this time is different, right? But like this time, not this time is different as in, oh, no, you know, this time's different, all-time highs, right? I always joke about that. That's why I feel funny saying this time's different. But this time is factually different, right? This time, we have finally come into the full target, right? We don't have these magnetic levels above us anymore. We do have some major higher targets between 86 and 90K, but locally, right, we have come in and filled this entire zone of resistance. When we look at these trades, guys, these are always looked at as zones, right? The idea here was a failed auction, right? We looked at this in the premium Discord. The idea of a failed auction is just trying to trade above a level and then failing that level and being unable to reclaim it, right? And then money flow just makes it super, super nice to look at for confluence, right? Like we've lost the key level of support. If we do continue down, money flow is pointing in that direction. But if you don't get in at the top, which obviously I was not, and discussed this yesterday, right? This happened at like 6 in the morning. I was asleep. Unfortunately, wasn't able to be short from the top. I have started a short position. I will add to that short position if we get some retracements into some very key levels that I'm looking at in the premium Discord. So I have a partial position right now. If we just nuke from here, it's a smaller position, but it's whatever. If we do come back up, I will add to that position to make it a full position. But either you could snipe the top, right, or you can aggressively enter on the breakdown, or you can wait for that retest of the key levels of resistance to get in on a lower high. But the idea is that you're trying to trade above a certain price, and then it fails, and you get the bigger drop down. And after hitting that key target, and the way that this money flow is looking right now, I will say I do think there is still, just like yesterday, we were up here saying, hey, we could get a pullback. We're starting to see that. To me, right, this looks like we could easily see this continue. If it fakes out, it fakes out. Like I said, I have not chopped up my entire account trying to short every high here. So I'm okay. If it comes up and we just decide to blast off from here, I'll get stopped out of the short position. Even if I add to it, I'll take that loss. And then I will, obviously, I'm still holding a portion of that long position will continue to pay me out. So yeah, I'm going to get a little bit more nitty-gritty in here for the key levels to the downside, but just very generally, key level tapped. Market cipher looking to cool off a little bit. Let's see if we can get the pullback. Oh my God, I could hear Lucy barking. Guys, Lucy's getting kind of big, man. Lucy's getting kind of big. It's low-key making me sad. Hang on, let me see if I can pull Lucy up right now. Oh, she's such a big girl. She's getting heavy. But anyway, while we're waiting for Lucy to get delivered, we'll see if we get this pullback, right? Major target hit. I just want to keep it nice and simple. Bullish from down here. Still long-term bullish, right? But as we hit this resistance, we cannot rule out the idea of a correction. So how low can we go, guys? We talked about these key levels yesterday. I'm going to pull them up right now. And it's a little difficult on the way down. And the reason for that is because we just have a lot of support levels, right? If I start pulling up all this support that we have, right? We just have like a ton of levels, right? It's not like we have nothing underneath us until, right, very similar to the move up, right? We had the low volume gap pretty much breaking the 75K highs. It was pretty much a big low volume gap. The next major confluence was right here, right? So it's like when you get the breakout of this level, there's not much there, right? Sure, you get little ebbs and flows, but the next major target was up here. We had no real high time frame significant levels here. On the way down, it's like kind of the opposite, right? We have... What am I doing here? I went way too far back. We have a lot of support, right? And they're very spread out. It's not like there's no support until right here. Now, obviously, yesterday I did mark off this gold box. The reason I marked this as gold is not because it is the best level to long or anything like that. It is a level I'm interested in adding to my long position. However, the reason this is gold is because of the context, right? So I'm going to go over the plan here. Oh, God. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to stand up. I don't even know if I can hold her up anymore. Look how big she's getting. Lucy! Say hi. Say hi to the CandleMafia. You're getting big. Oh, God, she bit me. Oh, my God, she's biting me. She's biting me. Say hi. Say hi to the CandleMafia, Mama. Okay, all right. All right, calm down. Okay, good girl. Good girl. Say hi. You're getting big. I can't even do our thing here. I could try. Ow, ow, ow. Hang on. We could try it. Ah! Go, run, be free. Be free. Mrs. Candles just got so mad at me. Go, run. Be free. Oh, no. No. Give me that. Actually, no, let her have it. Let her have it. Yo, Lucy trying to take the money. Oh, my God. Lucy's trying to bankrupt me. We got Mrs. Candles on the slots, and Lucy just trying to chew up the cash. Good Lord. All right, keep this stuff safe. Anyway. And there goes monetization. Oh, my God. All 14 cents from monetization is gone. Copyrighted music. But anyway, let's jump in here, guys. I probably just got the email. But looking at this, guys, back to the charts here. This is not a dog stream. I wish it was, but this is a crypto stream. Gold box here, guys. Contextually, this is very important, right? So my plan right now is if we get a breakdown from this level, or a continued breakdown, I should say, which I do think is plausible based off what I just explained. If we get the move down, we have our local value area here, right? And just like any other volume profile, this is support until proven otherwise. Once we get the breakdown below the value area high, next likely place for price to go is the POC. If we end up, right, and in this context right now, let's assume the daily red dot prints, that 80-minute money flow continues out, we get down to this value area high, what is my base case there, right? Well, my base case is very simply going to be, if money flow is coming out, any bounce is going to be lackluster for lower highs and lower lows. Once we get stuck under the value area high, next likely place for price to go based off the magical laws of the volume profile is the POC. And I don't say that lightly, guys. When I say magical theory or magical law, I mean it. Obviously, it's not really magical, but it does seem magical. But once we get to that POC, guys, this is one of the first major levels. It's like in the $78,000 to $77,000 zone. I'll bring up the intricate zone there for in a minute. Once, if this fails, right, and we don't get a long setup here, or maybe we just get stopped out of that long, I will be looking down, essentially, in just like any other volume profile. Once you get accepted into the range, not only is the POC the next likely target, but there is a high probability that you are going to see a larger continuation down to the value area low. So once we get that magnetic rotation to the value area low, this is gold for the reason of context. If we zoom out here, just like the theory that could bring us all the way down here, we also, just like, if you don't want to go down here, you don't want to lose that value area high, right? Because that magnetic rotation through the profile. Fill the value in full. Simple. Just like that, we do not want to lose our larger range value area high. So this is critical support. This sits between 74,200 and 72,900. Once we end up coming down here, this would be the best place, in my opinion, to get a big bounce. And of course, with the 3-day money flow coming up, as long as we don't see any dramatic changes on those higher time frames, which I'll keep you guys updated here on if we do see those changes. But if money flow still looks good on the higher time frames, this is a place where we can look for a higher low, in my personal opinion. And the real reason this is gold is because if we get accepted back into that range, right, fill this one in full. If we continue down and lose this, well, guess what? Next likely place for price to go is going to be that POC sitting at about 68K. And if we don't hold that, we are going to be looking down towards the value area low at 65,371. So I'm not necessarily saying we have to go from here to here. I want to be clear. We have a lot of support down here. But this is the biggest level to mark off on your chart, because once we lose this, I have to be looking down towards $68,000. Now, we have some other levels in there. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. But at this point, right, I don't want to give you guys why are we talking about 65K if we're sitting at 80, right? So I don't want to make this super over confusing, but it's very important, right? You have your value area here and you have your previous value down here. As long as we can hold on top of the value area low, we can look to go back to the high. That could eventually turn into a continued higher low for that bigger push into our, I wouldn't say final, but our next major target between 86 and 90K, which, by the way, I didn't bring up today just yet. That target does still remain valid based off the higher time frame money flow. We just might have to deal with some pullbacks here, right? Once that pullback starts looking much uglier, money flow is not looking good, and I think that we have a higher probability of coming to 68K or breaking down below 60. I will let you guys know, but until then, I am still going to be looking at this as potential higher lows and higher highs. Once we start losing this, it gets a little bit sketchy, right? Then we're going to have to talk about lines in the sand. But until then, we have, like we described yesterday, we have plenty of room to come down here to still make it a healthy pullback, right? That's obviously not going to last forever, but we do have plenty of room. So right now, I would watch this local volume profile, right? Because if we continue to pull back, this is going to be the roadmap for price. Value area high sitting at 70, call it 79K. POC sitting at 77.7. Value area low sitting at 74.110. Now, this is the big zone. And the only other real major zone I would be looking at here is going to be this POC. Why is that? Well, we have this daily MPOC, which is technically tapped, but this didn't get tapped on all exchanges, so I'm still looking at it as a relevant level. But we also have the golden pocket and the 786, right? So if we want to continue, this is the more aggressive situation, right? Get accepted below the value area high. POC is next. Look to push through some of the liquidity that we have down there. Let me pull that up real quick for you guys. Starting at about 77... Yeah, like a 77.7 all the way down to about 77K. There is a hot spot of liquidity. So this is always going to be an area where I am looking for a reaction. So this sits between 77.9 and 76.500. This is the major zone of first major local zone of support, and then this is like absolutely critical, right? We lose this, we have to start questioning if this pullback is going to start turning into something much worse. But until then, right, these are kind of the major levels, that pretty much exactly the major levels we looked at yesterday. These do remain the same. These levels have changed just a little bit, but for the most part, they're that same level. We do have the anchored VWAP coming in here, currently sitting at about 74,660. The only problem with this is if we make our way all the way down here, this is not going to be confluent with the gold zone anymore, but maybe, depending on how much time it takes us to get down there, maybe it will be confluent with this level. We'll have to see. If it is, and just to add another confluence to this zone of support. So these are the two biggest zones to add on your chart right now. Now, of course, there is a possibility that you can bounce off one of these local levels, right? Who knows? Maybe you bounce off the value area high and continue up. Like I said, if that's the case, I'll stop out of my short for a loss. Totally fine with me. And my long will continue to pay me out, right? Or the portion of my long that I am holding. So that's what we're looking at. Again, money flow. I think there is a reason to look for these bigger pullbacks based off your money flow. And we'll see. Are we going to get another money flow fake out as it's faked out many a times in the past here recently? Or can we finally, oh my God, Lucy's making some crazy noises down there. Or are we finally going to see this pullback after hitting that major target? I'm going with option number 2. Yeah, based off of everything I just explained, no emotional bias. I'm not bullish long-term because I want Bitcoin to go up. Obviously, I do want it, but that's not why I think it could go up. It's all based off the analysis, right? The second that changes, I will switch my sentiment and remain on the right side of the trades. So let me jump into the chat here real quick. Shout out to Tony. He said, honestly worth it. YouTube pays beans. Beans is my favorite word for, like, trash. Or cheeks. Cheeks is good, too. Where is my long stop loss? My stop loss is at break even. Because my long is from 66K. So, right now it's at break even. Unless we just get like a super nuke down there, maybe. I will get stopped out in profit because I've already locked in a bunch of profit. But if we wind up starting to get a loss, there is a point where I might just close that trade prematurely. Again, I'm in from down here, but I believe technically my stop loss is at break even right now. But it's just so far away. I don't really have to micromanage it right now. So yeah, it's just like super far away. If you took a long, I would not say put your stop loss where mine is. Shark Teeth Puppy Dog. Yeah, shout out to Rich. She literally, I don't know if you guys can see that. Come on. I'm like mirrored here. I don't think you guys can see it. I don't know how to angle my hand here. Can't see it. It's pretty healed. But she just chomped right through my hand. And she's getting bigger now, so she's getting stronger. And her teeth are still razors. So it's, I'm totally marked up. I just look, like, people see me and they're like, dude, are you okay? Why do you have so many cuts on your arm? I'm like, it's my puppy. It's my puppy. Sell your long. Shout out to Gabriel. I took profits. I took more profits. I've taken profits along the way, right? But I just took more profits up here. Let's see. rebuy it way lower. Yeah, I'll either take another long lower or I'll just stop myself out in more profit and then I'll just re-enter another long. But if we get down, there are levels where I would just look to add to that long. And then if I just wind up closing that in more profit, I'll just look for another position. Let's see. Shout out to Grim, said Quant and Tau are running a week or so ahead of Bitcoin. Yeah. I mean, the other thing here, too, is we do have the SPY just ripping to the upside, right? Stocks are doing really, really well. You would imagine, right, like back here, I talked about the idea of once we closed above the 786 that we were very likely to see all-time highs, or at least the value area high. I think my exact words were value area high and all-time highs. But our question there was Bitcoin going to follow? And although Bitcoin has followed, it has been kind of like slowly creeping up, right, where like stocks are just like mooning. So we'll see, right? Like it's kind of the same thing with the altcoins. I don't necessarily look at like altcoins front-running Bitcoin. We have had some altcoins performing really well. Some of them just still sitting there. But yeah, some are doing really well. We were looking at, I think, Hype yesterday. Zcash. Take a look at Zcash real quick. Right, Zcash pushing into our major target here. Let me pull up the alt chart. Right into the golden pocket before a little rejection. And now we're just kind of playing around on this value area high. So you do have some altcoins performing okay. It's not a situation where I would be saying like there's a full-blown alt season coming. However, when Bitcoin performs really well, starts to stable out or correct, that's usually where like the altcoins get a little room to run. Shout out to Captain Kirk in the chat. Welcome in, Cap. Sure, the puppy, Mrs. Candles, isn't abusing you at all. She's just cooking. I'm like trying to eat the ingredient. I'm like, oh, look, a piece of onion. She just stabbed me with a fork. Can't say it's never happened. Let's see. Do I see a head and shoulders forming on the 4-hour? I mean, again, I say this almost every day. I'm not a pattern guy. I don't know if you're talking about like an inverse head and shoulders, like maybe something like that. Or if you're talking about a traditional head and shoulders. It's not something I pay attention to, and it's just for the simple fact of like price doesn't move based off a pattern. Can you profitably trade patterns? Yes. I don't recommend doing it alone. Trust me, I've tried it. I think it's like a patterns. You can look at patterns. It's just it's not something. I mean, I have to be transparent. It's not something I look for trades, right? It's usually like I'll be in a short and then a head and shoulders forms. And I'm like, all right, well, man, if this breaks down, like I'm already short from the top. But now I don't really see a head and shoulder. Like maybe on a lower time frame here, you can look at it something like this, right? In which case, this technical target's probably almost already tapped. Yeah. So, but no, I don't really see a traditional regular head and shoulders forming here. But again, I'm not like a super big pattern guy either. So head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Let's go. Onions are toxic to dogs. Yes. Shout out to Philly Skills. They are. They are. I am very up to date. My dogs are my religion. If you've been here long enough, you guys know that. It's like gum. Sugar-free gum is super toxic to dogs. Like if I ever have gum, if I'm out and I have gum, I won't even bring it in my house. I leave it in my car. But yeah, onions I didn't know. I just recently found out about onions, but I don't really feed my dogs a lot of table food. ETH, yeah, we could take a look at ETH. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. I want to make sure we're clear on Bitcoin here. So we have a golden pocket here. There's not a lot of confluence starting at like 75K. So let me just pull that up real quick. Technically, this 74K zone can technically start at 75K. But again, this golden pocket in here, right now it's confluent with the gold anchored VWAP. But there's just more of the confluences down here. I'm just always going to be more gravitated towards that confluence. So I'm really going to be looking between about 74 and 73K. If we bounce from there, right, if I'm on the chart at that point, right, like we get the reaction there, maybe I'll take it early. But yeah, so biggest zones before we move on to Ethereum. Mark these off on your chart. Zone number 1, POC, daily MPOC, golden pocket 786, 77.9 to 76.5. Zone number 2, value area low, daily MPOC, daily horizontal. Right now, this daily horizontal is backing up this support, but it's not super confluent. But down here, you have the daily MPOC, previous value area low, and your 786. And if you incorporate the golden pocket, that zone sits between about 75K and 73K. 2 biggest levels of support to look at. Once we break down below here, I'll have to update you guys because that will, in my opinion, indicate that we're going to get a much bigger drop towards around $68,000. So there you go. Clear and simple TA for Bitcoin. Money flow coming out. We'll see if we can get that 80-minute money flow crossover. That'd be the main thing I'm looking at, just like yesterday was the 45-minute money flow crossover for the continuation down. Today, that is going to be the 80-minute to 90-minute money flow crossover with your potential incoming daily red dot. All right, let's see. Yeah, we'll take a look at Zcash. My dog from home is eating chocolate ice cream, and he's still alive. Yeah, chocolate is poisonous to dogs, but I don't know. Apparently, they have to eat like their body weight in dark chocolate for it to be like super toxic. I wouldn't feed my dog chocolate voluntarily, but I think apparently it's not as toxic as people make it sound. Shout out to Newbie, says, has Frankie's dad long-term swing indicator flashed a green buy signal? Shout out to Newbie. So I can update you guys on that. My dad is one of the people who are a little bit more tied to the timing of October. So we'll see. Man has almost 100% hit rate. So, but of course I'm going to stick to my own plan, and obviously I'm not fully exposed to the market yet, right? So if we do get another drop, I didn't really want to, I might put a pre-recorded video out talking about like the bull case versus the bear case cycle-wise. But I think you guys all know in general, I personally believe a lot of this is we're coming to the end, right? It's not I don't have enough to say the bottom is guaranteed in just yet. We haven't broken any major structure or anything like that. I do still think at this point you are still in a macro downtrend. Can you still see a new low? Potentially. Do I think that low is going to be a massive start of the bear market? No, I do think that we have a majority of the capitulation finished here. If we do have to come back down, my base case right now is one more sweep of those lows to continue to work out the bottom, right? And we know that we've put in massive bullish divergences in 2022 and 2018. We did not put massive bullish divergences in we did not get massive bullish divergences in 2014, right? I cover this, constantly. I don't know, right? Nobody knows if we have to go take those lows again. Is it going to look more something like this where you capitulate, kind of just wiggle sideways and then take off? Are you going to come down, you get the push up, and then you kind of just grind down to put in those weekly bull divs? I don't know, right? Is it a capitulation low? Are we going to just kind of bing bong around before finally taking off? Or are we going to eventually take out those lows before finally going up? I don't know which way this is going to play out. Typically and historically, you do oftentimes have time to accumulate. You do oftentimes like develop some kind of like accumulation pattern, but there's not enough for me to say that just yet, right? We haven't that the bottom is in, that is, right? We haven't broken any major structure. You are still technically in a bear market. We've been in a bear market for quite some time, as you guys know. At this point, even if we do take out those lows, I'm still in the camp of 2026 bottom watch, even if we put in a new low, right? Maybe we just end up, hopefully it doesn't end up being something like that. That would be super long, super boring. And of course, that's, maybe we go a little higher, maybe not. Do I think that the bottom is in and we are about to rip and roar into just brand new all-time highs from here? That's not my base case, right? Like, I would love for that to happen, right? This would be nice. But that's not typical of what we see, right? It's not like you come down and then just like V-shaped bear market bottom. That's just not typically what we see, right? You come down, you wind up wiggling around for quite some time. And then, right, even here, you can look at this. I showed this yesterday, right? You can look at this as more of a range before seeing the next bull market. It's just not very often that it's just like boom, boom, right? It just never happened. So it's not my base case. But either way, could the bottom be in? Maybe. But even if it isn't, I still think 2026 bottom watch. If we have to go sweep the lows one more time, I think it would be a max pain situation to get everybody super bullish here and then absolutely wreck them. They're like, I knew the bear market was just starting, and they're like 5K, and then we just get the big bounce. But we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated here every step of the way. But my long-term bias, if you watched any of my live streams, it all remains the same. Raisins can be extremely toxic. Yeah, grapes are super toxic to dogs. And I guess raisins are like concentrated grapes, right? Because if they have one box of raisins, I don't know if it matters that they're dried up, but it's like 100 grapes. Caught it quick. They gave her an injection to make her throw up. Nice. Well, I hope your pup is okay. Tulips are toxic for cats. This is an animal live stream, guys. This is a pet live stream. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead. I'll keep an eye here locally on Bitcoin. Trying to wiggle lower here. So right on track for the most part. But let's go ahead and jump on into Ethereum. As we talked about, I'm similar to Bitcoin, right? Almost the same situation, right? We're banging up against the previous value area low. Let me put this back on log. Kind of similar to Bitcoin, where we had this value area low that we were looking at yesterday, coming from the 80K consolidation. This is resistance until proven otherwise. So if we do get the pullback, right, get back in here, we can start looking up towards 84K, get above 84K. That's where we can look towards 86 to 90K. But we're getting the resistance, right, which is not uncommon, right? On the first approach, this is oftentimes resistance, but once you eventually get accepted in, that's where you can look for the fulfill the profile, targeting the PLC and the value area high. But Ethereum's kind of the same thing, right? We got the first push into the value area low, pullback, right? Second approach, pullback. Third approach, pullback. Fourth approach, pullback. And we looked at this yesterday, right? Market Cipher B looked almost the same as Bitcoin. If we continue to pull back, where's that biggest level of support? In my opinion, the next level to look at is going to be this value area high sitting at 2187. Once you get accepted into here, let me just pull another volume profile. Don't freak out, guys. Don't freak out. This might look confusing to a lot of people. I'm going to mark this one out as well because this is your previous range, value area high. I would say these are the two most important levels to look at on Ethereum, right? Number one, 2188 marked off right here, and then the previous value area low, because, right, the idea here is you don't want to get accepted into your previous value, right? You have value up here, and you have value down here. Once you impulse out of a value, right, or out of fair value, price is going to seek out the previous area of fair value, right? Breakout, head here. Once you get back into the volume profile, you're looking to go back down to the lows. Once we break out again, price seeks out fair value, right? So the hope here is that we are not going to get accepted back into this range, right? Below 2188. And then like last resort level would really be like the previous value area high, 2133. So I'm going to mark this off as like a zone between your value area highs. And the idea is to not get accepted back into this profile. We get accepted back into here. PLC is next. Once you lose the PLC, probably headed down to the value area low. Right? So this is your biggest level of support. If we had to, you could look at the PLC as a last resort level. Right? You got that golden pocket backing up the bottom of this zone, and then you have the 786. So these would definitely be the biggest key levels. Once you lose this 786, I'd be looking to take out this low, which makes sense, right? Because, again, laws of the volume profile state, get accepted below the high, PLC is next. Lose the PLC, value area low is next. If I'm looking for a low, a higher low, and a higher high, that higher low, we would hope, is going to come in between the golden pocket and the 786. Lose the 786, I'm looking to take out this low. Lose the PLC, I'm looking to come to the value area low, right? So once you lose this, there's a few different reasons to look for that 1918 value area low. But until then, we have opportunities to put in higher lows and higher highs. And these are the two big zones I'd look at. Number one, come on. Call it 2200 to 2133. Actually, I'll drag this down to the golden pocket. 2200 to 2118. Lose that. Last resort level sits here between 2066 and 2044. Very simple. We get to move to the upside. It's the same thing, just upside down. Get accepted into the range. POC is next, sitting at 2515, almost 2520, 2517 technically. Because hold the low, POC is next. Once you get above the POC, that's where we can look for 26 to 2700. And it's almost the exact same thing, right? Because Just like you have the fibs to the downside, get above the golden pocket, next place to look is the 786. Get above the POC, next place to look for is the POC. Value area high, rather. Sorry. So, yeah, we're just kind of bing-bonging around these two value areas. Will she accept in here and push up, or will she accept in here and push down? Well, money flow, let's take a look at the daily. Daily money flow still, you could argue it is generally, draw a trend line here. You could argue that is generally trending down, but it's not like super close to the zero line or anything like that. 3-day money flow is crossed into the green. But again, right, we've come into that major target, red dot printing, daily red dot printing. Let's check that 90-minute. Come on, 90-minute money flow crossing out. I mean, that's indicative of more downside in my opinion. But again, longer term, you have pretty big support. So 2 big support levels on Bitcoin, 2 big support levels on Ethereum. So there you go. Faux frizzle. All right, let's see. Hit the like, y'all. Shout out to Mark. He said it, not me. Smash that like button, baby. Shout out to Rudy. Said, love you, Frankie. Let's do this. Shout out to Rudy with a Y. Welcome in, brother. Good to see you. Let's see. Teresa Young says, we ain't testing no supports. This was a hunt of all the shorts, right? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I mean, I know what you mean by hunting shorts. I don't know if I fully understand the question. Shout out to Teresa. If you reword it, maybe I can give you a better answer. I would be blown away if we go higher. This is beyond my chart. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Hello. You want to go get dinner with our dog? Oh, but this is my job. Well, let's see. All right. Mrs. Candles wants me to go get dinner with the dog and her. Are you going to come, or is it just me and the dog? No, I would like to go. Oh, you want to go? Okay. All right. Guys, take the dog to dinner or continue TA. You know you're going to lose this battle, right? But it's okay. It's okay. We're doing a short stream today, which, is usually, yeah, I know it never happens. All right, so you got to finish the laundry? Yeah, they got it in your knowledge. They don't even care. No, I think they will. No. All right, you finish the laundry. They're still like they're saying go. Everyone's like stay. She's like they're saying go. TA. The dog wants to go out, not Mrs. Candles. TA. Take the dog out. Wow, it's kind of a split decision here. All right, well, I'll tell you this. I was going to do a short stream like I do every day. It's usually 2 hours, though. I will try to go a little shorter tonight just for you and the pup. No other chit-chat. Okay, just straight to the point. Yeah, they don't even want the chit-chat. They want the TA and the dog. Okay, all right. I got you. Deal. Shake my hand. This is my left hand, so. Ooh, yeah, it smells like cocoa butter. Oh, God. All right. Let Mrs. Candles, TA, and you go eat. Shout out to Bree. That would be interesting. The low key, I feel like, you jump on a chart one time, start drawing random lines, you got a good chance of getting lucky. We should let that, she'd have to put like a mask on because she doesn't like, she's very private. Take Mrs. Candles out. The dog is just a cover up. All right, yeah, short stream, guys, short stream. But anyway, let's continue on. She's gambling for sure. I should have brought up her gambling addiction. Speed TA. All right, well, there we go, guys. 2 major key levels on Ethereum. Money flow coming out. In my opinion, I think it's plausible to look for a bigger pullback. We'll see. Daily red dot with the 80-minute money flow, coming out here on Ethereum is exactly what I'll be looking at here for Bitcoin for the continued pullback. Does that make sense? Red dot prints. 80-minute money flow coming out. This does. There it is. There's the setup, right? All right, so let's take a quick look at a couple of other altcoins. We looked at a lot of these yesterday. I'm not going to spend too much time on the ones. I don't want to be super repetitive here. Solana continuing to reject the value area high. We've gone from the low to the POC. We broke the POC to the high. Full volume profile rotation, 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 full volume profile rotation. This has just been absolute volume profile perfection here, right? And we are continuing to reject that value area high. Shorts at the highs, longs at the lows. And you might say, hey, we front ran that value area low, but the thing is, we had the golden pocket there. I'm not going to pull it back up, but you can see the 786 here. That golden pocket was pushed up a little bit right here, and that was originally the part of that zone that we tapped into. So as of right now, continuing to reject here at the value area high. Next key level of resistance, or support rather, remains the same as yesterday. POC, golden pocket 786. If we get a bigger pullback, this would be the big area to hold, right? I would prefer maybe a wick down to the 786, but I would really like to hold on top of that POC to keep the doorway open to potentially see a much bigger push to the upside. Once we lose that 786, very simply put, the bigger target ends up being, can't get back above the POC, simply back down to the value area low. And once we lose this 786, I expect to break this low here, meaning we are very likely to push into. That's why I moved this zone down yesterday, because we had already tapped into the golden pocket and got the bounce. I don't look for those levels to get hit twice, so I moved that down to the value area low and the 786, right? So the biggest level of support on Solana right now locally is going to be sitting right here between $85 and $83. Lose the 786 at $83. I'm going to be looking down to the value area low 786, sitting right here between 81.30 and 79.64. Once we lose that level, we have it marked off as key. Once we lose that, I will expect to take out this low down here at 76.63. But long term here, we'll see what Bitcoin does, right? If Bitcoin's able to continue up, well, 3-day money flow. I mean, Solana, obviously, as we've looked at recently, has been slightly lagging behind. Money flow still trying to trend to the upside here, not as clean as it is on Bitcoin or Ethereum. Let's check the 4-day green dot printing. Yeah, weekly money flow attempting to come back up here. I'm not going to lie. I mean, these momentum waves, like even on Bitcoin, these momentum waves, if we get a red dot and we do end up getting another low to come in, they do look primed, right? And this is probably, if we do get this, going to be very far in the future. But they can be primed for massive weekly bullish divergences, which would be nice. And it's why if we do come down to make another low, I'm not necessarily looking for that to be the start of the bear market. If we have to start looking down towards 30K, if I see those signs on the chart, we'll start talking about it. But right now, like low 50s for Bitcoin, in my opinion, is going to be the big support, maybe even to like 47K. And on on Solana, kind of the same thing. I just can't unsee this, right? If you end up getting a weekly red dot, and that red dot does end up taking out this low, right? Well, you do have an opportunity to put in a nice weekly bullish divergence, which again, as I've mentioned yesterday, is somewhat favorable for me because I like to see those high time frame confirmations to have a more confident idea that the bottom is in, right? 2022, we had the nice weekly bullish divergence. At that point, right, it was pretty clear from a timing perspective, from a TA perspective, from a technical confirmation perspective that the low was probably in. Here it's just a little more difficult because we don't have the divs, at least on Bitcoin, right? Or Solana, right? Or many other things as well. So take that for what it's worth. But for right now, those are the levels I'll be looking at on Solana. Locally, all right, VWAP trying to come down on the daily. Let's check the 4-hour real quick. Yeah, you got the 12 and the 16-hour red dot printing with the 45-minute money flow coming out. So this is like almost the same situation that Bitcoin was in yesterday, right? Are we going to get the continuation of a little bit of a downtrend here based off that money flow on the 45-minute and the 12-hour red dot, the market cipher B116 strategy? Well, hey, not only do you have that on your side, but you're also rejecting the value area high with your next magnetic target and Fibonacci retracement, major Fibonacci retracement, sitting towards that POC. So we'll see. What are my settings for the fixed range volume profile? Shout out to Cryptic. If you check the beginner series on the YouTube channel, I do have tutorials on exactly how I set up the volume profiles. Not only that, but also how I trade them and use them to find high probability trade setups. So go check out that tutorial. It's my settings are pretty simple. Can we look at hype? Yes, we can take a look at hype. Big pain incoming later this month. Sell in May and walk away. Hey, could be. Shout out to Vision. Dump time. Sailor just sold Bitcoin. If we did get a big dump, right, or if this dump does continue, right, based off, I mean, it would always just be based off money flow for me. I know Vision knows that. Yeah, It would be kind of crazy, right? We finally come into the major target. Now all of a sudden, Sailor sells, right? We actually said that yesterday, right? If he sells, right? Like, wouldn't that be interesting if he did that at this major target? Do you think he's watching these key? Do you think he watches the live stream? Maybe. I don't know. But again, always show me the charts. Maybe if we get the big dump, we get a new lower low, and it's all based off that. Well, hey, show me the charts. I'll tell you the news. Anyway, let's continue on here. 4-hour bull div on ETH. You have a hidden bullish divergence here, which typically are good for trend continuations. But I definitely would not sleep on the fact that you do have the daily red dot printing with the 90-minute money flow. But from a just binary situation, you do have a little bit of a hidden bullish divergence there. Yeah. I'm not going to say that one because I don't know if YouTube wants to shadow ban me for saying that stuff. I don't know. I kind of feel like the shadow ban thing is not real, but can never be too safe. But yeah, it is interesting, right? Thumbs up, even on a short stream. Shout out to Regular Guys Trades. Let's go. Appreciate you, brother. Oliver says, do you think the local top is in, or are the higher targets 84 to 87 still valid? Right now, right, the higher targets are still valid. Does that mean that they 100% have to get hit? Absolutely not, right? This is like one of the more difficult things, right? Like, there's no binary answer, right? Especially for me from a trading perspective. And I always tell people this, if you want to make money trading, you don't want to be making your decisions based off some kind of narrative or news event, right? Now, I'm sure there's people out there that profitably trade news, right? Not saying no one can do it. But at the end of the day, in my experience, right? Again, this is if it does end up playing out where this does, obviously we're looking for a correction here. If this correction decides, it's until proven otherwise, right? Because as long as the structure remains good, as long as the money flow remains good, I can still be looking for higher lows and higher highs, right? And if that ends up not being the case and you get the big drop to the downside, and if that is going to be the case, right? Maybe we don't even get the setups to present themselves here and we're just holding the shorts, right? So still making money, right? You don't have to have 100% certainty, right? It's not like I look at the chart here and I go, oh my God, this, and this is happening. Plus we hit a key level. All that news makes me giga down on my shorts. Not necessarily, right? It's just like I'm trading the charts, and then if the news comes in and we wind up getting the new low, I'll be in a short from up here, and I will never go back and be like, guys, I shorted this because of the news. It's never been the case, right? And probably never will be the case, right? Sure, the news could help the move down, but I will always be trading from a technical perspective. So I don't really trade based off narrative. I think it's a trap that a lot of people fall into, right? If the narrative is really bad and we come into a key level and I see beautiful confirmation, I will still go ahead and take that long position, regardless of the news. So these targets are still open, in my opinion, right? If this 3-day money flow continues into the green, right, we would expect some kind of a pullback. A 3-day red dot can give you a significant pullback. If it ends up being a higher low and a higher high, this would be the next major target. Absolutely. This is still in the cards. It is not until we start getting accepted below, mark this off on your chart, 73, right? I'll pull out the exact levels I'm looking at. Pull up on like a 4-hour. Actually, you know what? I'll pull it up on like a little bit of higher time frame. You have your value area or your previous area of value before the breakout. That value area high still sits at around $71,000. This is a key level we covered in the past many a times. But before this, if we pull this to current price action, we have the current value area high sitting at 73.5. Almost, like 73.6. So if we get accepted in here, my first thought is, okay, well, now we're back inside value. We can start potentially targeting down here with the backup support at 71K. I would still say, personally for me, right, like you have the current value area high to like 73.6, right? But at the end of the day, this is your previous value. This is really, in my opinion, the level. This is the line in the sand. Because if we get down here, you do not want to get accepted back into this range, right? Until then, you have your golden pocket. If you're going to retest this for support and you're going to go seek out that upper value, like this is still a valid support level. It's not until we get accepted in here where I'm thinking, okay, hey, now we're looking into the 60s, right? So like 73.6, right? Is that what it was? 73.6 is like the warning shot. And again, I'll cover this. If we come down here and we start losing it, I'll cover it with you guys. I don't know what the charts are going to look like if we get down there. But 73.6 is kind of like the first warning shot if we start losing that. And then at the end, and then once we start losing that, like that 71K value area is not what we want to get accepted into. It's very simple, right? I'll mark this off for anybody who might be new here. Let's say value area high, POC, value area low, right? And then you have one here, value area high, POC, value area low. And let's say price was bing-bonging up here. We impulse out of this range. The next likely place for price to seek out, of course, assuming that your money flow is coming out, right, and the charts are calling for a big move down and not a trade back to the upside. Once this impulses to the downside, the next place for price to likely go is very simply going to be the previous area of value, right? Price will start trending, right? This is balance. This is imbalance. When price is imbalanced, it will always seek out fair value, right? Where's your next area of fair value? It's down here. That's where I would come up with that major target. Once we get back into this range, we are probably going to go to the POC, lose the POC, go to the low, right? If we start bing-bonging around here and then we eventually impulse out of this range, it's very simple. Pull out of this volume profile. Let's say money flow is coming up, which I guess on this 16-hour time frame kind of works out with where I drew it, right? Money flow comes up at this point. Maybe you take a long here, depending on if you had confirmation. You ride it to the high of the range. Now you see your money flow coming up. Your overall anticipation here is an overall continuation of the uptrend, a.k.a. imbalance. If you get the imbalance from the lower range to the upside, price is very likely to seek out previous value. So the goal here is, let's say we get a breakout, right? And let's say this is high time frame money flow. This is like 3-day money flow. If we get a big pullback and you hold on top of this value, you want to get accepted in here. Once you get accepted back below here, that's where you're looking for the big move down. Until then, this is support, right? So that's why I say that gold zone that I marked off on the chart with you guys before at 74 to 73K, that's why that level is so key, right? Because it's the start of our lower value area, right? And whether you want to just look at it like this, you can look at the current range, or, right, so lose this, you could start to target these $68,000 POC, or if you want to look at it as this previous area of value, it doesn't really change too much, to be quite honest, right? But this is essentially, I mean, you could even draw it out on structure, right? The reason I say the upper range is important to me at this point is because, like, once you start losing the $75,000 high, yeah, you're starting to, like, break down below key support resistance flips, right? So, like, this is huge. You're retesting structure. You have your value area high, which is not the area you want to get accepted into because that calls for more downside. So if it's a little simpler for you to look at it this way, just look at the full range. As long as we stay above that value area high, we are still good. Once you get inside the value area high, that's where the magnetic value area laws will very likely pull you down to your next key targets. So until we get accepted down below here, I would say those higher targets are in sight. All right. So right now, I'd say base case, I still have those open targets, but you also can't sleep on the fact that we have hit one of our major targets here, right? You have to get the pullback. Who knows? Maybe that pullback turns into something big. I need to see those levels broken on the chart, need to see money flow head in that direction in order to have a strong confirmation there. It doesn't mean that I didn't take the short up here, right? It doesn't mean that I'm not going to take, like, if we come down here and I see the setup, I'm going to take the long, right? And I will be taking profit on the short along the way. Let's say we come down here, we retest, that 73K zone. I will have profits locked in on the short. I will look to add to my long position or maybe even take new longs. If the long plays out for a new high, I'll stop out of the short and profit. Longs continue to play out. If price decides to get stuck inside the range and continue down, I'll stop out of that long, maybe at a loss, maybe in profit, I'm not sure. But even if I get stopped out at a loss, I'm still short from the high, right? Not here, never just going to gamble on, like, that's it, I'm all short, boom, going to zero. So there you go, right? If you want to make money whether price goes up or down, that's the way to do it. All right, let's see here. All right, let's jump back into some altcoins here. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, clarification for the promo on WeX. The process is not automatic, but it should only take 1 to 2 days once you sign up. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the update. And we do have, I guess I'll just bring that up now, guys. We do have a WeX promo for the CandleMafia here. See if I can find it. Where is it at? There it is. So there you go. For the Frankie Candles community, or the CandleMafia, as we like to call them, you unlock VIP 4 if you use our affiliate link, or if you're already signed up on our affiliate link, you just get auto upgraded. But I guess according to Tony, it will take 1 to 2 days. So you'll get a month of way lower fees. So check that out. Tony dropped some more details in the Discord, the free Discord, as well, if you want to check out the actual percentages and all that good stuff. But let's go ahead. We took a look at Solana. We took a look at Ethereum. Let's go ahead and jump into I'll take a look at Zcash. We'll take a look at Hype. Shout out to Biggie Worms. Wants to see ZBCN. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Quick reminder, please do not super chat your altcoins. It does not guarantee we will look at them. Otherwise, it'd be impossible to make everybody happy. But I will try to take a look at ZBCN for you. But real quick, I do want to take a look at Zcash. Mrs. Candles back again. What happened, Mrs. Candles? You were too cool for us for like months, and now you're in here. What is it, the 3rd or 4th time? I guess I summoned you the first time, so. What's going on? You're in here? Oh, my God. Guys, good thing we're not talking about the slot mafia. Yeah, I told him you're a degenerate gambler now. Cat's out of the bag, Mrs. Candles. I told him you used to be all humble and, what was the word? I forget. But now you're just a complete and total slot degenerate. Oh, thank you. I didn't even know you brought this in. You distracted me with the Dark Crash. We met him in Vegas. He's always in here. Shout out to Dark Crash. Dark Crash, are you in here? Shout out to Dark Crash. Where could we see Bitcoin in the next 4 hours? I'll go over that briefly before I sign off here. But real quick, I do want to get into the altcoins. And did you have a reason for coming in here, Mrs. Candles? You have a bull on your shirt. ACDC? No, ZBCN. That's not ACDC. No, that's central bank digital currency. You're learning. I mean, it's a real term at least. And we're looking at Zcash. You want to see Zcash? All right, guys, let's take a look at Zcash here real quick. Wow, I feel like it's like bring your mom to work day. Why did I say mom? All right, so here we are. Zcash, guys. I mean, there's no real update here. We looked at this yesterday. Look at this, Mrs. Candles, volume profile. Let's see if you know. We're going to give you a test. We broke above the value area low. Yeah. What would you expect? Like, is this a shocking move or is this normal? Normal. How do you know that? Because of the VWAP. Okay. Are you talking about the anchored VWAP? The cup. Okay. Oh, the cup and handle. All right. Well, hey, I guess it doesn't matter what you call it. It got the move to the upside. Value area high. That's right. Volume profiles. That's right. Volume profiles are great. There you go. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. I'll be off in, give me 15 minutes. You could watch. You're making me nervous. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. All right. All right. You're distracting me. Anyway, so obviously, guys, I'm not going to go over this again just because we covered this yesterday. We rejected the value area low. We had money flow coming up, pulled into the golden pocket 786, retested the anchored VWAP. And then at that point, your goal is to get accepted above the value area low to come into the POC, flip the POC, go to the high, guys. That is the most textbook right into the golden pocket. That's right, Mrs. Candles. I don't even know how you saw that golden pocket. But the most textbook volume profile move you could possibly have on a chart right there. It's not always that clean, to be honest. And we are now currently attempting to hold on top of this golden pocket. Was that a high five?
Yeah,
oh. What? No, we shorted this sucker, though. Oh. We shorted on the way down. Oh, okay. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. But currently, guys, trying to stay on top of this value area high golden pocket. And like I said, get above the golden pocket. Next place to look is going to be that 786. 786 sits at $630. Once we get above there, this invalidates the idea of any kind of higher time frame, lower high, right? Until then, massive resistance, massive resistance. Once we break above that 786, guys, you got the weekly there, but at the end of the day, it does, maybe you get the wick. But I would say once you sustainably get off over this 786, there's not much above you for all-time highs, right? Because if you're looking for the high, the low, the lower high, the lower low, this would be the zone to look at for the lower high. Once you break above it, I'm looking for, in this case, You're always looking for a break of the high, but in this case, new highs. So yeah, but until then, right, like you are sitting above you're deviating above your value area high, right? And if I could just hide some of this, let me hide the golden pocket to make it a little simpler. Hide the daily MPOC. We'll hide all of this stuff. Just looking at this from a volume profile perspective, right? Get accepted back in here. I'm not going to lie, guys. I mean, this 4 hour kind of looks like it wants to put in a bearish divergence, which would call for a new high. And we'll see if that VWAP winds up rounding over. But your key level of support as of right now locally is going to be your value area high at 545.29. Get accepted in here. Could look for a bigger pullback, in which case I would just view this volume profile with the POC at 408.09 as a major level of support. Yeah, other than that, I mean, 630 at the 786 is your next major, 632, next major resistance level. So we'll see. You're kind of bing-bonging around in a major resistance zone. But, yeah, you're not far off from kind of, yeah, I mean, 3-day money flow coming out technically, 4-day money flow kind of flat, 5-day money flow coming up, 6-day money flow coming up, weekly money flow coming up. So, yeah, I mean, shout out to Zcash. Crazy, because we have the short from here in the premium Discord, literally down to like almost, I think it was this low right here at 250. I think I might still have the setup that we had on the chart here. Yeah, there it is, right? I guess the major target there was wow, weird memory, 251, right? And that has already played out in full. Didn't catch the long, I didn't take any longs here, but beautiful short position, like Zcash just following the magical line. Crazy. But yeah, absolutely insane recovery on this thing. Back up to the highs. All right, let's see. Shout out to Cyrus. Says, it's funny how he didn't look at Zcash before it was 200. He only looked at it after it pumped. I wonder why. I mean, I can't look at everything before it pumps. Unfortunately, you're always going to have coins moving when you're not paying attention to them. But we did catch the top, literally. Gotta love that. Just, yeah, to be honest, I mean, this is obviously kind of an outlier, getting back up towards the highs here on Zcash. But yeah, I mean, you catch the top. Doesn't mean you're going to catch every top and every bottom. Shout out to Nick Dunn. All right, let's take a quick look at CBCN. What's your short-term BTC outlook, or did you go over it earlier? I went over it in the beginning of the stream. Just got over here, sadly. No worries, brother. Shout out to Jen Friend said, yo, there is only a handful of crypto technical analysts that deserve a like and a comment. You are one of them. Shout out to Jen Fan. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for being here. Always tuned in to the Frankie Candles live stream. All right, let me see. Do we have a ZBCN chart here? I guess we do. Let me just get my bearings here. I think it's been a while since we've looked at this. Let me see this. Yeah, very long time. This is all old. I'm going to extend this volume profile. All right, so you just take off these older levels. Just check this monthly real quick. That's tapped. But you did have another one right here. So you are coming into a monthly time frame. I will make this more legible in a second here, guys. This weekly is super old. Could move that here. We have another weekly right here. A little bit of live analysis here. Live chart markup. just make sure. Okay. So overall, attempting to get back inside of your upper volume profile. Sorry, guys. Trying to get these levels as accurate as possible. There we go. So, yeah, attempting to start playing around with this value area low. So, overall, I mean, this is really your doorway to higher prices. I know doorway is one word, guys. Don't make fun of me. The heck is going on here? Oh. All right, so this is your doorway to higher prices. Obviously going to be resistance until proven otherwise. I mean, you got a daily money flow coming into the green. Daily green dot, I mean, VWAP attempting here. It's a bit choppy. It's not like a clean, smooth VWAP wave here. 2-day VWAP kind of chopped. 3-day money flow coming into the green. I mean, guys, at face value, money flow coming up on the 3-day is indicative of a longer-term uptrend continuing. So can you pull back from here? I mean, if you lose this value area low, I would say you can get a bigger pullback. But at the end of the day, right, money flow would make you look for lackluster pullbacks, higher lows, and then eventually higher highs. Once you get a reclaim of that value area low here at about 0.0033069, that is what will open up the door, in my opinion, to your POC at about 0.041125. You might want to screenshot these levels because they're kind of annoying to read off. Once we get above that POC, I would just simply, I mean, there's your value, right? Looking for that rotation into the value area high at about 0.052729. So this is the volume profile I would watch. I would just be careful because unless you could just hold on top of this value area low right now, I would say there is a chance. Yeah, I got some money flow coming out here. It's kind of choppy, to be honest. 4-hour money flow is just, in the red, in the green, in the red, in the green. VWAP kind of chopped. So you're kind of just in a choppy situation here. But as far as key levels, this value area low is going to be the level to hold on top of. If we correct, let me just see something here. Let me see the monthly. Monthly MPOC here. This is going to be a major level. See if I can get confluence here. I mean, this is kind of super wonky structure. Let's just see where this fib pulls up. Sorry, guys, I'm locked in right now. All right, so you got some high time frame support down here. I mean, if you get a big pullback, this would be a decent level to look at, in my opinion. So I'm going to separate this, right? So we have our current macro VP. All right, so obviously you can use this for bigger context. Flip into the value area low, you can look for the larger move up. But obviously until then, right, like you want to be able to look at these local levels. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, finish off this range, and I'll give these as more local levels. So, yeah, I like these as the local levels. And I am going to just put price labels here because I'm not going to read out these numbers. You guys can screenshot them. There's your value area high. There's your POC. There's your value area low. Right? Now, this, if you look at these blue numbers, this is the entire box. You have your golden pocket, your monthly MPOC, your weekly, and your value area low. And when I look at this as a range, right, if we're going to see some kind of pullback here, well, simply put, if we get accepted into the value area high, I will look for the POC. Once you lose the POC, you have this nice support down here at the value area low. I would say even if you deviate below and hold on top of the 786, get back into the range, right? This could be a place to look for the rotation of the volume profile, and then once you get the bigger breakout, you could potentially look for a crack of the highs, right? And then at that point, you can look, right? You can grab all this. Once you get up to that point, you can then just look up, like, okay, cool, we're breaking out of the value area high. Money flow's coming up. I'm looking for the continuation. Now I can look at the macro volume profile. Well, hey, if I get above here, I can get back inside the profile and potentially target that POC, right? And because you have a golden pocket 786 here, it's a nice place to potentially look for a higher low and a higher high. Of course, going to be very dependent on what Bitcoin does. So, just be aware of that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that would be the macro levels I would look at, as well as the local levels. You have your local range, or I'm sorry, you have your macro range here for the longer term move, and then you have your local range for your potential entries. So there you go. Shout out to B. Griffin. Appreciate you, bro. He said, big thanks to Frankie and all the mods for this stream. I hope you all are, you all be feeling the gift that's brought here. Such a gem you all present. Words are cheap. Thanks anyhow. Shout out to B. Griffin. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. I have a DGen request if it's cool. All right, we'll take one DGen request. And then I'm going to have to hop out here. And look at that, guys. Almost a short stream. I don't know. It ain't over till I click the button. Shout out to Hassan. Says pure silence. Got to lock in sometimes. But yeah, we'll see if B. Griffin gives us that. Oh, there it is. Oh, hype. I could take a quick look at hype. Yeah, so hype remaining the same as yesterday. Let's come on down to a lower time frame. What is today? Is the 7th? Just trying to see where we are here. 6th. Okay, so yeah, this doesn't really change. So obviously, this is one of the other things that we were looking at. Few different coins here that we were looking at with the big 2-day bull divs down at the value area low. Once you impulse out of the range, value area low is next. No shocker there on the pullback. And this is a very, I thought about this when I was trying to explain this on Bitcoin, right? When someone asked me, are the higher targets still valid, right? Well, we had higher targets here on hype into the golden pocket that we had right here. I since deleted it off the chart last night on the live stream, as obviously we came up to tap the level. But you impulse out of the range, you're expecting to approach previous value, right? Lose this value, price is going to seek out the other fair value. Boom. As we see this pullback with money flow coming up, the idea is if you pull back, as long as you stay above this previous value, you can look for a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high to eventually target those bigger, higher price targets. If we had gotten accepted back in here, well, that invalidates that idea, and then you look for the push to the POC and the value area low. So when we look at Bitcoin, it's like exactly the same thing, right? There's your lower range, right? Or you could pull it to the current. Right, but I would really say like this is really the previous value you don't want to get accepted into. As long as you can hold on top of this, right, you could be good for those higher targets. You don't always have to go directly into the final target, especially when you hit a major target, right? Hit a major target, expect a pullback. How low can that pullback go? Well, you wouldn't really want it to go below this value area high because if you get in, you're going lower, All right, so same thing here. I would not want to see this pullback come much lower than like 73 to 71K. Otherwise, you're going to get accepted into the range and very likely go lower. Hopefully, this plays out like hype did, right? Retesting and continuing up into the higher profiles. So there you go, right? And then we looked at this. We got the pullback. We had this level on the live stream, pulling back from the value area low into the POC, bing bong around. As long as you hold on top of that golden pocket value area low, the idea of the uptrend is still intact. We got that continuation up. So right now you're just bing bonging around in this volume profile. So I would say your next major final target to fill the volume profile in full sits up here at about 47.15. If you continue to the downside, your biggest level of support is going to be the point of control. Could you hold up there? Sure, right? It's not always like those clean rotations like on Zcash where you just get in and just shoot right up to the high. It's nice when that happens, but oftentimes you can get a little bit of a wonky journey. So key level number one, very simple. To the downside, 38.89 at your point of control. As long as you stay above that, your target at the value area high is open. If you lose the POC, I would say your value area low is your biggest level of support. Once you lose that value area low, I don't expect, I mean, this golden pocket's already been tapped in full, like almost to the pixel there. So I don't really look for these levels to hold up twice. So I would really weigh on the value area low at 35.57. If we can't get accepted back into the range at that point, I'm looking at the 786. And then once we lose that 786, could be a much bigger drop incoming. So yeah, value area low 35.65, POC 38.89, value area high 47.38. So there you go. Yeah, Zcash looking good. I mean, dang near approaching the highs. Absolutely. What are me and Mrs. Candles going to eat? She wants to bring the dog, so I assume somewhere outside. I don't know where outside, though. I'll ask Mrs. Candles where she wants to eat. This is how this will go. I'll say, hey, where do you want to get to eat? She'll say, I don't care. You pick. I'll say, let's go here. And then she'll go, I don't feel like that. I'm like, what do you feel like? And she goes, I don't know, just not that place. All right, what about this other place? I'm not really feeling that. All right, you pick then. Let's let Lucy pick. Does anybody else have that experience with their significant other? Or is it just me? I feel like I'm not alone. Okay. All right, guys. We're at an hour and 30 minutes. I was going to be a short stream regardless. I mean, dang near a full-length stream here. But, yeah, before I let you go, I will just give you the quick rundown on Bitcoin. Watching the 80-minute money flow again, just like yesterday, on the 45-minute money flow. This 80-minute money flow crossover into the red is what I will be looking for the continuation of the downtrend. Key levels, we're gone over. Key level number one, major level, 77 or almost 78 to 76.5. Once we lose that, at the end of the day, I'll be looking at between 75 and 73K. We got a long way. We got a decent ways to get down there. I assume, even if we get the dump like overnight or something, I'll be here to update you guys tomorrow. But those are going to be the biggest levels, just so I can save some people from scrubbing back all the way to the beginning of the stream. 77.918 to 76.520, first major zone. Lose that. I'll be looking to go to the value area low to our major zone of support between, again, call it 75K because we have the golden pocket up there. Right, or bring it up to the anchored VWAP, about 75 to 73K. This level is the level we do not want to lose. Once we lose that, man, we start really coming into like last levels of support. So that's what I'll be looking for. I'm holding a little bit of a short here. If we get a retracement, I will look to add to that. And nice to see the little continuation down that we looked for yesterday. Will we get the bigger continuation down based off the same exact signals on higher time frames today? Well, we won't know until tomorrow. But thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, no. Stream Deck is down, guys. Stream Deck is down. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. I'll either, depending on the move, if it doesn't move a lot, I'll drop a market update. But if we get a little movement, I'll be live with you guys here, taking your questions and marking off those key levels with you. Thank you guys for being here. Jesse, shout out to you, man. Indian Martini, enjoy your dinner. I'm sure Lucy will try to eat right off my plate. Shout out to Mortimer Duke. Hassan. The Night Guy. Took me a minute to read that. Skywalker. Shout out to Darren, Tony, and Jesse for holding it down. Shout out to Jen Fen. I appreciate you. I said there's Oh, no, that was an old chat. And shout out to Biggie Worm. Said, shout out to Frankie. You're a real one, brother. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. Smash that like button on your way out. And don't forget that WeX promo if you guys are looking for a place to trade. Save some money on fees. A lot of people hate those fees. I see it as a cost of doing business. But, hey, if you could save on them, that's nice. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Mrs. Candles is standing right there, tapping her foot. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bing bong. If I reach for that stream deck one more time, I swear to God. All right. Hasta pasta.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the